Thank you for coming and being with us on a Friday morning for training. Let me undo my little thing. There we go. Today we're going to talk about communication with the customers in the digital space. It's how do you connect with them, especially now when you can't go out and meet people. But the first thing I'd like to say, nothing beats a face-to-face meeting. And developing that relationship, whether that relationship is in person or digitally, we have to figure out how to blend the two as we move forward into semi-reopening and reopening, because the fact is we'll never go back. There will be things we always do online. So we as business people have to decide how to communicate with them and what types to use, what tools work for us, and where to spend our time, because it's exhausting and you can't be everywhere. You have to have a plan. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So where were you in the digital space before the pandemic? Do I have a poll for this? I don't remember. No, I do not. Sorry about that. So let's talk about the different platforms. Facebook has 245 billion monthly average users. YouTube has 1.9 billion. Instagram has 1 billion. And then we're dropping down, and you can see the different platforms and what they do. On the left-hand side of your screen are social media platforms, and on the right-hand part of your screen are direct connects, which would be emails, WhatsApp, Messenger, even texting, which I did not put on here. But where are you? Where are the clients? Where are they going to be, and how can you find them and connect with them? So today we're going to talk about kind of two different things. Online static content, where you're posting on the left-hand side, sending out emails, blogging, and podcasts. Static means you post it and they consume it. That should have a call to action, but that's a whole nother story. Online content that's interactive means video network meetings, webinars, employee online meetings, client meetings, anything that you're actually having a conversation and it's not you just pushing out, but there's interaction between the two of you and your client. So we need to make sure our message, though, is consistent across all of our platforms. So messaging doesn't mean text with Messenger. It means messaging meaning the message that you're putting out. You have to have content marketing that creates value. You have to provide useful information for their business. It's not all about us. It's about them. Our content has to have calls to action. We need to be available everywhere they want to connect. And using curated content from authoritative sources is good. It makes you an expert. It puts you into their bucket. So we need to think about our messaging when we're putting together our online presence. Social media. So you want to make sure your sites have your content and curated content. So if you look at some of these, you can see that up here in the left-hand corner, this is my content. It's an asset that I am providing. If you look down in the right where the piece is, this is pulling in something from Facebook. One of the things we want to do is we want to make sure, and each of them are different. One of them is Facebook, one of them is LinkedIn. I'm not sure where I pulled the other one from, but all of these have the consistent look and feel. They all have my logo, they have my name. You know when you hit them that it's Weiskopf Consulting. So we want to be current across our platforms. That doesn't mean we have to be on everything. You have to choose the ones that are right for you. And you need to consider advertising to reach those people who you're not already connected with. So YouTube. Show of hands, how many are, let me lower your hands here. How many of you have a YouTube channel? Okay, so then it goes to recycling old videos that have relevance. Seems like I skipped a slide here. Hang on, let me check this. Nope, we didn't. I guess I just remember them in a different order. Forgive me, it's Friday. So having a YouTube channel is very important because YouTube is the second biggest search engine next to Google, because Google owns it. You can recycle old videos that have relevance. You can add your new webinars. You can promote useful videos from YouTube onto social media. And you can create a timely video about your company, which you can share across platforms. So it's a great place to store, to do SEO, to put keywords, and to use YouTube across your channels, not just as I need to have a YouTube channel and sell things, but to use it to help you in getting noticed and being seen. Blogging. How many have a blog? Because this is what you're all going to say. No, I am never going to do that. I don't have time. So let me tell you what I think about when I think about a blog. A blog is a piece of technology. What it does is it lets you put content on your website that then is categorized and historically archived. People think of a blog as needing to be this big, long, authoritative, long articles, and that's not what it is. It's a way to put fresh content on your site. It's a way to use it to put keywords in and to link back to different social media sites. It makes you authority on what you're doing, and it works to attract audiences because you can publish that blog article out across your social media platforms. So whenever I do a blog, I put a graphic in it. I put the content in it. I tend to write 500 words. Jen, my social media strategist, would tell me it should be 1,400 words, but we just disagree on that. So you should definitely use your keywords. And one thing I encourage everyone to do is to put, just like in your email, you have a signature line, you should have a blog signature. And in that signature, you should link back to all your different sites, have your name, your phone number, and everything, because every single blog post you make is an individual web page. So when the crawlers go out and crawl it, they look at it as individual content and individual links. Oops, I missed my click. It should have a picture, it should have text, it should have a call to action, and it should have a signature. Your blog text, and it should have between 500 and 1,400 words, depending on how you feel, that use your keywords. Podcasting. Again, this is what you're all going to say. No, I'm never going to do that. I don't have time. But I want you to think of a podcast differently in terms of a podcast can be just audio that you recorded. So let's say I take this webinar that I'm recording. I take it and I upload it to YouTube and I pull it into my videos on the page for post webinars so everyone can get to it if they want to review it. I also take it and I cut the digital out and just keep the audio. I can then upload that audio to my podcasting platform and offer it for people because people like to listen on their phones when they're walking, when they're biking, when they're in their car, and offer a podcast. So podcasts are great to engage people when they're doing other things because they love to listen to content. It's mobile-friendly content. It establishes you as a thought leader. It's absolutely cost-efficient for creators, and it's scalable. And once you have a loyal audience, it's great. They're expecting things for you, and you can build that personal connection because they're always hearing your voice. So don't think of podcasts as just an extra thing you have to do. If you're already doing video, how can you use the audio from that video and make it a podcast and accessible to others? Because I may not want to sit down and watch the video, but I certainly would listen to it when I'm driving somewhere. So consider what podcasting can do for you. Emails. So when you get an email, you think now, later, or never. Those are the three questions. You look at it and you either swipe to the right on your phone and it's gone, that's a never. You look at it, oh, it might have something I want, you leave it, or I need to open it because it's urgent. And when you write your emails, you have to figure out how you're going to get that reaction from the person who's reading it. The fact is email is your direct connection to your audience. It's more effective than social media. People open them more if you're doing it correctly, and it lets you reach your customer at the right time with the right offer. Your social media and all of your other efforts should be geared in a way that you're collecting email addresses and always growing your email list, because people hop off the time all the time, and you absolutely want to make it work for you. So let's review email because it's so important. Best one-to-one communication tool. You always want to be growing your list, whether you exchange business cards and add those to your list, whether you put something on your website, whether when people sign up to come to one of your events, like a webinar or something, you collect their email address. If you have a brick and mortar, you should be collecting that email address. It's valuable to you. You need to make sure that you segment your lists when you're doing this, because you start with 3 email addresses. It's like, oh, I'll do it later. Then you have 200 of them, and it's past the point of no return in putting them into segments. You need to do that. You need to be responsible with your list in terms of not over emailing. You need to provide the content that's relevant. It's all about them, not about us. Has to be mobile friendly, and it is very affordable to send out emails. So now, that was static content that we talked about right there. Now we're going to talk about interactive content. I just have one page on this because it's very vast. So when you have an interactive content, it could be like this, and this is medium interactive because you guys can put questions in the Q&A, and we're going to do those next. Your employees you can have online meetings with. You don't have to be face-to-face, especially now when you're out of the office. It's great to get on and see a friendly face and have a discussion. I will meet with customers all the time online for a quick half-hour meeting. Like if I speak, when I used to go out into the public, right, when we all used to do that, and I spoke for SCORE, I had no problem, anyone who attended one of those events, giving them a half-hour to 45-minute Zoom meeting to ask me questions. It's a great tool. I didn't have to drive anywhere, take it out of my day. They didn't have to go anywhere. We could just meet, and it was wonderful. Vendors or partners are a great way to meet online and move your partnerships along. Doing live events such as webinars is this, live streams, or scheduled premieres off of your YouTube channel are great ways to develop interaction with your clients and be online and get people aware of you. So I threw a lot out really quick. So when it comes to communication types, there is one question I'm going to answer. Please type any other questions in here. Will this be sent out to re-review? Yeah, so this will be posted, probably not today, it won't be till Monday, on my YouTube channel so that you can find it and rewatch it. Is there any questions, other questions about the platforms and the types of communications? Okay, I guess I'm moving on to digital tools. So the first digital tool I'm going to tell you about is Canva, and we've had a training on that online, and I've talked about it in most of my presentations, because Canva is a free service to you to go on to create your assets that you want to put online. It gives you the right proportions. It gives you a way to drop and drag. You do have to pay to use some of their photos, and it's $10 a month if you want to get the bigger plan so you can have a team support, and nonprofits can get it for free. So this is a great tool to use, and there should be on my YouTube channel, there is, I shouldn't say should be, a training by one of my co-workers, David, on Canva, which is great to watch. So I want to encourage you to use a management tool to post. If you're going to get serious about being online and not just posting once or twice a week, which really doesn't get you any traction at all, you really need to use a management tool. You can start simple and work up to something more complicated, but at least it will get you into the organization and planning piece. So we're going to look at these 4. It doesn't mean there are a whole bunch of other ones out there, but these are the 4 that we're going to look at. The first one is a constant contact calendar tool. So this is a beginner, and it's free with your paid account to Constant Contact. If you use email marketing, you can connect Facebook, Instagram, to do ads and campaigns through here, and everything will appear on your calendar. Your upcoming emails, which ones have finished, so you get a whole monthly view of what's going on. You can schedule ahead of time, and you can be a week or two ahead, so you don't have to always be behind the 8 ball. So if you sat down and have a plan and have a strategy, you can see it here. But again, this is a great way to start with planning and management. Then we move up to a more expensive one, which is called CoScheduler. It's $40 a month, which gives you can put in all of your platforms and your emails, and you can put notes on it. And it shows, the more you have on it, the less you see of the monthly view, because it shows you everything. And as you do this, you can collaborate with others. So I use this for some of my clients. We do the posting, then they go in. Oh, it didn't. I thought I had a pop-up here. These all pop up, and I can put them in draft, in scheduled, so that the client can come in and say, yes, I like this one, no, I don't, or make some corrections before it's published. It's a great tool to use when you're collaborating with others. It also gives you a better view of all the different platforms that you're posting to. So this is Hootsuite. I'm sure most of you have heard of Hootsuite. You can get it for free. The caveat is if you have a free Hootsuite account, it says on the post, posted by Hootsuite. So they're taking credit for all your posting, not being posted from you, the company. This is $30 a month. This is a step up in terms of it has more, they all have tracking and management tools, but this gives you a lot more interaction. But same thing, it shows all the different things you're doing. When it's scheduled, it can be approved or disapproved. This is Mav Social, which is $190 a year for a nonprofit. It gives you much more analytical on the reports, and it also gives you the ability to have a conversation back and forth. So if someone posted a comment, you could post that comment right back to them. So if you're really into social media and you're monitoring once, twice, or 3 times a day to see what's going on, you can react on all the different platforms from within the console, which is great. So the 2 bigger platforms, Mav Social and Hootsuite, when you moved up from those beginner ones, have different features. Those features, you have to decide what works for you. So on the left side, you have content management, you have planning, you have publishing, you have collaboration, and you have dashboard and reporting. Now, when you move up to Hootsuite, Hootsuite has multiple contributors. You can update multiple networks in one step, and you can optimize the delivery, and it has social analytics. So you need to know which one you feel comfortable in and which one works for you. But if you're going to be serious about posting, you need to have a plan, not just going to each platform different days and posting one thing. That's not a social media plan. That's not going to get you the results that you want. What they did is they got us addicted to social media and let us connect with a bunch of people. And now they have it to the point where it's pay for play. So you need to decide how you're going to work that and how it's going to be best effective for your company. So video recording with Zoom. We talked about how to make static content with Canva, which are pictures and words and a call to action. You actually can use Zoom, even the free version, to start an instant meeting and create a little video, right? You know, you have your background, you have your lights, you have your audio, whatever you're doing your shtick about, and save it, watch it, and decide to post it on YouTube, to post it across. You can do an interview with someone, you can show a product, you can do a training, you could have a collaboration, but you can start that Zoom meeting, an instant meeting with just you and whoever, and if you're bringing someone in, and record it. It's a great way if you don't have the whole setup to set up cameras and lights and everything to record yourself, you need to make sure that your camera is, here it is. Make sure your home studio is ready for prime time. We all know, we've seen the bad videos of people in their home offices where the lights are bad, or the background is messy, or what's going on. So you really need to see how you see yourself, and is that the presentation that you want your clients to see. I think it's very important to have a co-host. Today, Jen is here. Say hi, Jen. Jen is here being my co-host, so she's going to watch questions, and she's going to do anything behind the scenes. So I am strictly focusing on giving the presentation, and that's important. And you need to test, test, test. So do a test, invite one person to be watching, do the presentation, and look at the recording after and see if it's what you like. So this is a great way to make a video asset for you to post across your platforms. Video, meetings, webinars, and learning. So there is so much out there. How do you decide? So I'm just going to go over, there's a quick spreadsheet here. Zoom, I have done so many Zoom meetings and webinars and trainings. It's amazing. It's a great platform. It's easy to use. Yes, they had some bad blowback in the beginning, but they're doing great. WebEx is, and GoToMeeting are older platforms. They're reliable. They're also stagnant. And you have to download a piece of software in order to run them every time. Zoom, you can get on through a browser and just be on. Google Hangouts is limited, but it's free. Skype, it was the first player in the pond probably a decade ago, maybe 12 years ago. And they were great. I used Skype all the time then, but then Microsoft tried to make things more complicated. First, they wanted it part of their suite, then they wanted it for business, and then they wanted it to do something else. And now Skype has really fallen by the wayside, and they've morphed it into something you do on Teams. So, and there's something called Free Conference Call, which is free to use to make conference calls. Webinar Jam and Big Jam are two late entries into the webinar. I guess they've been around for a while. They've both made changes in their platforms, but they're if you're giving big webinars. So to give a small webinar, I would stick with Zoom. If you're doing a big webinar that has a lot of moving pieces, I would move to one of the bigger two. So late entries, Google has moved from Hangouts to Meets. If you have a Gmail account, you'll see on the left-hand side now, it'll say Google Meet. And right from your Gmail account, you can bring up a video conference. So that's somewhere you can meet someone if they have a Gmail account, send them an invitation, and you can just meet there. So it is free through September 30th. But of course, Google, again, wants to monetize it. So after that, it's going to move into their G Suite, and then you're going to have to pay for it. So it's going to be $6 for a basic user and $12 for a business user. And what that does is it puts you into the G Suite with the email and all the essentials that come with that. So Facebook also has now messenger rooms, so you can meet people online in a messenger room with multiple people. It allows up to 50 to chat. I don't believe you can push it live at this point. Jen, do you know?
I don't believe so at this point.
It's just an interactive conversation. It's not anything you can promote or go out, but it still is an easy way to meet people and have conversations. Or if you're running a Facebook group as part of your strategy, you could certainly have people meet once a week and have a strategy session. So if you're on Facebook and you're using that, that would be a great way to do things. So, digital tools. I know that I went very quickly, and let's see if there's any questions about digital tools. I'll give you a second to type in. Jen, you want to ask a question while we're waiting? A starter question. Or comment, either is fine.
I mean, you talked about the differences of the digital tools, and I agree that Zoom, like versus a Google Hangout and things like that, much easier. I know in all the work I've done, people have adapted to Zoom much quicker. No downloads. It's not. It's usually pretty reliable in the sense it's easy. There's only a couple buttons. You really can't mess it up. Where I feel like Google Hangouts, like there's a lot of complexity to it, how you view it. You can't always see yourself. You got like a big screen. You can't shrink it down, those types of things.
So I've also found, Jen, that I have had problems with people who have older Macs with Zoom. That takes them in this loop wanting to download the software instead of just letting them go through the browser. And I'm not sure what that is, but that's the only drawback that I've had with Zoom. Okay, none of you have questions. All right. So we're going to move on. Where to spend our time. You need to be relevant. Ask yourself, what are others doing? So the deal is, we're going back to, it's not about me, it's about you. What is relevant to you and what will help you? Because me being relevant and helping you will bring you back around when you're ready to make a purchase. So I talked to you earlier about everyone's different view of what their room is at home. There's an Instagram account. Oh, it's a Twitter account. It's a Twitter account called Room Rater. And he goes through and he rates people on their rooms, 1 to 10. So this person got a 10 out of 10. Very balanced, very pretty. This person got a 2 out of 10. This person got a 3 out of 10. That's horrible. Oops, let me go back. So I just want to talk about, know what you look like. If you're doing Zoom, do that instant meeting, and you can look right at yourself and see what you see. So make your presentation, how you're presenting yourself, how you want people to see you. Okay, show of hands, who's seen the Mayor Lori Lightfoot memes? And I can't believe that not all of you haven't seen them. So she hired a new social media guy before the pandemic came out, and he created a couple memes of her staring at people staying at home, and it took off. And now she has her own Facebook page, and people add their own memes, and it's great. And it's just, so this is an example of kind of going viral. So it's great. She got something, people thought it was funny, they hopped on. We all would like this to happen. She let control of it to other people, and it worked the way she wanted it to. So we're all not going to get this because she has a much bigger following, but they're creative. Other people are creating content for her, and she's being moved out across platforms, which is great. So my favorite one is this one down here from Cheryl Scott, where you have to stay at home all the time. I thought that was funny. I also liked her on the bean staring down at all the people who were out. So this is her page on Facebook. It's a public group, and you can go and you can see, and you can add your own meme if you're creative. Some other things people have done in the past to be creative is John Krasinski, some of you know him, started Some Good News. And he does these funny videos with people he knows, stars, of course, not just people like us. And he just broadcasts it out there. And people watch it and people share it. And it's just fun. But his brand is himself. So he's promoting his brand. There have been challenges for charity. There was the Ice Bucket Challenge. You all remember that. Will Ferrell had a challenge that went viral. And then this one here is the new challenge that Tom Holland put up and challenged people to put their t-shirts on upside down, which went viral. You can host something musical if that falls into what your business model is. they're doing virtual 5Ks because they can't run the regular 5Ks, so people can still sign up, still participate, go out and run their 5K and then post it. There's master classes. Now, master class is a brand where they have all of these people come on and give a master class on what they're doing. But for me, I took that idea and now I'm doing Friday classes for training. What works for you? What ideas will be creative and will resonate with your clients? So think outside the box. You can do one-to-one meetings. You could do a Monday morning chat where you answer questions with people. Mondays are bad, but anyway, you could do a Monday morning chat with someone in your field, someone who's an authority. The same thing with an interview and promote it to get people to watch. You can do networking events. We do 2 networking events, and I do a cocktail hour networking event. You could do an Ask the Expert or office hours and have people come in and ask you questions. You can do online classes. You can do a happy hour. And all of these things then can be pushed to Facebook Live, YouTube Live. You can record them and repost the replays. You can host a watch party. You can do the classes with breakout rooms. So you need to think about how your business is structured and what is relevant for the people who would purchase from you in the future. You want to make sure that you're relevant for them, you're providing services for them, because when they're ready to make a purchase, they think of you because you've been there all the time. So we're going back to where should I be? So Facebook, 220.23 billion monthly average users. YouTube, 1.9 billion. Instagram, 1 billion. Then we go to Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and Zoom. Zoom went from 10 million monthly average users in December to 200 million monthly average users by the end of March. That was a 3,000% increase. And in my estimation, they handled the load fabulously. They found some bugs that they had to, because they never expected to do that. But where do you want to be and where are you going to find your people? I think as much as I rail against Facebook and the advertising, and our feeds are full of it, we still look at it. And so if you're advertising, you want to have a presence there because that's where so many people are. You need to use your YouTube channel to promote yourself and pull it across the other platforms. If you're a business user, you want to use LinkedIn and meet your people there. So what should I do? You need to consider pay-per-click Google ads or Facebook ads. Now, I'm going to let Jen pop in here because you can do Google ads or Facebook ads for as little as $50 and $100 a month and get some traction. Is that not true, Jen?
Yeah, absolutely. And what I would say the difference is Google ads are people who are searching for you, for your product, for your service. So those are what we call the hand raisers. They're actively seeking. Facebook, you can advertise to people that fit your customer profile. So this is really a great way for new services, new products, for instance, something you're trying out as well, because these people aren't necessarily actively looking for the product, but obviously may see it based on the strategy and who you're advertising to based on their customer profile, and then may be interested in seeing it. So that's really the difference. Is with Google ads, you're really pulling people in that are actively searching, and Facebook ads, you're kind of pushing stuff out to them to eventually pull them in.
And I have to say Facebook has gotten really aggressive, because think of the fact that you see something in one of those ads and you click on it because you're curious about it, right? The next time you go back to Facebook, you not only see a repeat of that ad, you see like 12 other companies that have that ad, because they have now put you in a bucket that you think that they think you're interested in. So keep that in mind. It's there if you can use it wisely. You want to make sure that your online brand is up to date. So it means that whatever platform you're on, you need to have the same logo, the same colors, the same message. Back at the Canva piece, there is, if you're paying the $10 a month, which is really nothing, just so you know, there's a spot in there for your branding. So you can put all of that stuff in Canva so everyone can get to it and you can pull to it when you're creating a new profile. We want to make sure our website is SEO optimized. Jen, would you like to jump in on that?
Yeah, so it's a combination of focusing on keywords that people use to search for your product or service. Again, this may not be the words that you use or the industry specific or even the proper word for the product and service. It can be slightly off. Or think about it in a casual setting when people are doing like a voice search, they don't necessarily string together all the words that you may use to describe the product or service. They're going to take out words like the, of, and those types of things as well. So you need to take that into consideration. But it's all about using those keywords in the content and doing it in a natural way, not just keyword stuffing, and making sure your content is fresh, making sure you're updating it, and making sure that it's at least 500 words, more if possible in certain situations. And you're continuously linking to it and things like that in order to show popularity.
Which comes back to content, content, content. There needs to be a strategy. You need to have a plan. You need to know where you want to start and where you want to end up. It's overwhelming. So if you have social media sites and a website, the first thing you need to do is look at your brand and do they all match? And then you need to decide which platform you want to focus on and take one step at a time till you get to the point where you have a managed plan. Okay, that was my quick training for Friday. I'm open for questions.